Pre-Calc 11, Chapter 7.3. We're going to be looking at adding and subtracting rational expressions with monomial denominators. That means we don't have to factor the denominator. Just like adding and subtracting fractions, we need a common denominator. So if we have 1/3 plus 1/4, the common denominator is 12. So we need to multiply this one by 4 over 4. We need to multiply this one by 3 over 3. And we get 4 over 12 plus 3 over 12, and that equals 7 over 12. So let's look at a simple example here. We have 1 over x plus 1 over y. Lowest common denominator is x times y, so this one we need to multiply by y over y. So we get y over xy. And this one we need to multiply x over x. So we get x over xy. And we get x plus y over xy. So that's a very simple example. And to make simplifying easier, we find the lowest common denominator. One way is prime factorization. So here's an example. 3 over 45 x squared plus y cubed plus 2 over 30 x to the 4th y. So let's do a prime factorization here. We have 5 times 3 times 3 times x times x times y times y times y. And here we have 2 times 3 times 5 times x times x times x times x times y. So let's circle all the common factors. We have a 3, we have a 3, we have a 5, we have a 5, we have an x, an x, an x, an x, and a y, and a y. Okay, so all the common ones gives us 3 times 5 times x squared times y. And the first term gets multiplied what's remaining of the second one. So we have 2, we have x squared. And the second term gets multiplied what's remaining of the first term. So that's 3 and y squared. And the denominator is the product of all three of the above. So we have 15, and multiply these two, we get 6, and we get x to the 4th, and we get y cubed. We're multiplying all of these together. Now we have 3, just copy down to the original one, 45 x squared, y cubed, and we're multiplying what's remaining of the second. So we get this, 2x squared over 2x squared plus 2, I'm copying this one again, over 30 x to the 4th, y, and we're getting multiplied by this, 3y squared over 3y squared. And we just multiply the numerators. We get 6x squared plus, and this is 6y squared, and our new denominator is this, 15, and I'm going to leave this factored, x to the 4th, y cubed, and I'm doing this so we can cancel out a 6. So I'm just going to factor it out first, 6x squared plus y squared over 15 times 6, x to the 4th, y cubed, cancel out the 6, and we get x squared plus y squared over 15, x to the 4th, y cubed. And what are we supposed to do? We have to state the domain. So x and y cannot equal 0, our NPVs, x equals y equals 0. Okay, make sure you put brackets around the numerator if it contains more than one term. These do not contain more than one term, so it's okay. Let's look at another example. 3x plus 2, all over 5x squared y plus 4y minus 3 all over 2xy squared. So let's do the prime factorization. We have 5 times x times x times y, and we have 2 times x times y times y. Circle the common ones. X here, y here, nothing else is common. And we go ahead. Put brackets. So this is 5x squared y, and we're multiplying this by 2y over 2y plus 4y minus 3 over 2xy squared, and we're multiplying this by 5x over 5x. We need to expand this or distribute. So this is 6xy plus 4y plus 20xy minus 15x all over, and we can just multiply these two. 10x squared y squared. And we simplify. We collect like terms. So we have 8xy minus 15x plus 4y all over 10x squared y squared. So we put the highest power first. That's xy, because that's power 2 or degree 2. And here we have x, so we're doing alphabetical. So x does not equal 0, y does not equal 0, our NPVs, x equals y equals 0. Now, if you have more than 2 terms, you must find the lowest common denominator of all terms. So one thing to do is it's easier to find what's missing from the other denominators. So we're looking at all 3 of these. We see 12. This one has x squared, this one has x, so x squared is the biggest. Y squared, y, so y squared is the biggest. And that's our lowest common denominator. And then we just multiply by what's missing. So bracket 3x plus y over 12x squared y. And what's missing is a y, so we have y over y minus brackets 2x minus 3y all over 4xy squared. And what's missing here is a 3 and an x. So 3 over x. And last we have 3 over 3xy. And what's missing here is a 4, an x, and a y. Now we distribute. And we have 3xy plus y squared minus, we got to be careful with the minus signs. This is minus 6x squared. And these two minus becomes a plus, and that's plus 9xy and plus 12xy. And we just use our lowest common denominator. And we collect like terms. Starting with the highest power, or degree, this is minus 6x squared. And we use the xy's. So here we have 3 plus 9 plus 12. That's 24. And we have the y squared. And there's nothing to reduce here because this is a 1. And again, we state our domain. X and y does not equal 0. And our NPVs. x equals y equals 0. And that completes this lesson.